Hey guys, welcome back to Hershey's Garage Plus Guns, and on today's video I'm going to show you how to install this little bad boy right here, which is a backup camera, and how to do it right, so stay tuned. Alright guys, the first thing you want to do is pop your hood and disconnect your negative battery cable line so you don't create an arc and spark and have to do more work than is necessary. Now make your way to the back of the vehicle, open up the back trunk, and then what you're going to do is remove this plastic piece right here. And the way we accomplish that is by taking out these little guys here. This one here, there's another one down the line right here, and then there's one right here, and then an internal bolt that you'll have to remove inside here once you take off this little cover here. So I'll go ahead and do that, and you can see that process, and we'll go from there. But the way to do this is what you're going to do is take a plastic removal tool like this and make sure it's plastic so it doesn't mar your surface, and you're just going to get underneath here and pop these out, and they come out like this first. So it's got a top like this, and then this bottom part right here stays in, and then you just go underneath there and gently pop those out. Sucked back in there like this. And there's, let me show you that, sorry, I got one hand. There's what it looks like. Now once those are all removed, then this will want to hang just a little bit. So what you want to do is reach underneath here and gently pull down a little bit on each side, because there's little clips in there. You'll see once I take this off. And you want to kind of just pull gently down and kind of slip your fingers in, your hands in, and look at each point to where what those little clips are at, so you don't bust this thing, and you do it nice and gently. But I'll pull it down and you can see where they're at. Okay, here's the points that are underneath there, and there are these guys right here. Get my big fat finger out of there. These guys right there. But before you can actually take that down, you have to remove the back light first, because all these pieces are kind of interlinked together. So the way we're going to do that first after that is start with this little guy. You're going to remove these things right here. Then once those are removed, then you have 2 screws to remove. Then once those are removed, then you remove this little plastic piece like this, which exposes underneath, and then you have to remove this little screw, this screw right here, and then on the other side, this screw here and this screw here. Once that's removed and this is hanging down, you can gently go ahead and pull this down and all this down, and the only thing that's going to be left is this pillar right here. There is a little screw right here on each side over, and then one over there that you're going to have to take out to remove the plastic piece. There was actually 9 places that are attached by those little pins. And they're right here, just like this. And there's 9 of them. And then there's one in the very back here that you slide off this way. And it stays in the top here. And it's this guy right here to the back. And now you're all exposed. And that way you can get to the back of wherever you're going to mount your camera, whether you got a license plate mounted camera or some other type of camera that you're going to be mounting like underneath here or somewhere else. It is going to be entirely up to you. This exposes the innards here to where, like say, if you want to mount to the license plate, you have where the holes are for your license plate cover, these little plastic pieces. You can run your wire and your camera through here, or like I said, somewhere else. It is your choice. I will tell you where I'm going to mount mine. And because of the type of camera that I have, I'm going to go through the Subaru symbol right here. And I know that's a desecration, I'm sorry, but I think it's going to be the best spot because I don't have one of those license plate cameras, and I got this one for free. So it doesn't mount anywhere with anything besides a flush mount. So like I said, I'm going to go through here. So I have to take off this panel here, which I have done, and it's fairly simple. And it removes just like this, and voila. And then you can get to the back right there. And that's where I'm going to be drilling through, is right through there. But, see, and then it has the clips and studs where it goes through on each point throughout the back here. And let me show you on the other side how this goes in there. First, you're going to take off your windshield wiper. It's for the back windshield, and it goes through this little hole right through here. And you're going to take off the nut that is on the post here, which right here, this is going to be on the outside, and it's going to fit on top of here like this. And there's going to be a little nut on the top of here, just like that. And all you're going to do is take that off, and I believe that's a 10 millimeter nut. You take this off the outside, then you take the 3 nuts that are on these little posts right here, and they look like this. You can either take them out with a screwdriver. Sorry, it's kind of a crappy picture here, but you can take them out with a screwdriver, or I believe a 12 millimeter nut. And these fit up into these corresponding holes right here. That one, there's one there, there's one here, and there's one here. There's 3 of them. And they're in there like that, holding the motor on there. You take those out, and then you're going to have these little guys, which are a 10 millimeter, and they are going to be up in these little holes in the back over here holding that cowling on. They're going to be in these larger holes right in here. So you're going to take those out of there, and there's one here and one up here and 2 right here, and then there's one right here on the opposite side. And then once you take those out, you'll grab these guys and take these out, and these are on the ends right here. on the stud point right here. And you'll take those out. Then you can remove the cowling by gently tapping on these little studs, and it will eventually, let me stick this down, it will eventually, once you start banging on that and pulling out simultaneously, it will pop out and you'll have this exposed. Just don't pull it out too much because that's where you're going to run your wiring. It's still connected in the inside there, right there. And you can let that dangle down or put it back in there, but this is where I'm going to run mine. But like I said, if you want to run yours through the back side into your license plate, that's where you're going to run it, is these two down there on the other side. Okay, now that you have your camera mounted, and of course I have mine mounted, like I said, to the back of the Subaru sign here, it's time to run your wiring, which this is the wiring for this camera. It's time to run this from the connection here and back to the brake light, which this blue wire goes to the brake light, and then the rest of this wiring goes up to the front to get connected to your TV monitor or your head unit monitor. And I'll show you how to do that now. And of course, as a side note, if you do the camera in the back here, this is where it comes out through the back, and I put a little bit of some type of silicone caulk or something like that in the back here so it doesn't get water through there. And then here's the line that comes through, and you'll connect one side of the line, which is right here, this little black part here. This is going to go get wire tied up along here and then go through the back. This is a rubber grommet. It's going to go through here and then back out through the back here, and this is where those wires went through, and then come out here once these get connected back up. And then I'm going to run them and wire tie the line back through here and along through here, and either clip in through here or wire tie through here, and then come along through here, and then right at this connection you're gonna go through this little hole and pop this out and run your wiring through here and down through here, and then it makes a little curve down through here. And then the next part, once we get through here, is we're going to have to take off this plastic trim piece here, the top part here, and then this plastic piece right here, and then of course this plastic piece down here, because we got to get to the brake light, the backup light, and connect that blue line to the backup light in here, splicing it into there. Then we can run our wires back through the front here. So let's go ahead and start, and I'll show you what it looks like when I fish the line through there and then go into here. Just be aware, if you did the license plate way, your wires would be coming through here, and you would have to fish them either through here or a grommet place right here, somewhere where it's up and out of the way, and then you can wire tie it and then do the same thing and have it wire tied all the way down here and then go the same direction, because ultimately you want to end up back over here where we have this little spot where we're going to be fishing the wire down through here. Here's finally the result of, I put the wires through and I have the camera mounted on the back on that cowling piece, and I don't have it secured yet, because just in case some of my connections aren't good or the camera's not good or whatever, I don't want to put that on there permanently. So I'm not putting any bolts or anything in there just yet. But I do have it on the outside. And then I just quickly did some wire ties and then some electrical tape on here and followed the other lines that are already on here and took it around here and on to here and then right around over to here. And then of course Subaru's nice enough to have these built-in little spots here where you can just zip tie it to and then follow along here. And then I ran the cable already through here and down through this little already protective covering out into the main body here. And all you have to do is pop these down out of their corresponding spots. And this one has a nice little plastic piece that protects your wiring when it goes through, but this one doesn't. So I recommend that you put a nice protective covering up until about right here, somewhere around here. I've got it right here so it doesn't rub, because this part doesn't is just all metal. And of course they have where the existing wiring goes through, they have a nice little protector covering too. So I recommend that you just get some type of 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch covering to put around there. It's a plastic piece that goes around the wiring and it protects it. And then like I said, it ran through here, and then now we had to go down and run it down through here. And I have this piece open and I'll show you how I got those off. And then you just fish it down, wire tie it down over to here, and then I have my back of my light off, because this is where you're going to have to wire it into your reverse light, which is right here, the bottom one. And you're going to go through here, and I can see with my finger up into that little spot here, it's going to be right back over here where I can just fish the wire through. So on this side, this isn't the side I'm going to be using, but instead of having to take, a lot of videos show you where you have to take all these whole plastic pieces off, this top plastic piece, this bottom plastic piece. I thought I was going to have to do that too, this bottom plastic piece. Well, you're not going to have to do that. I found out that you can just basically take this off and a little bit of this piece right here off, and you'll be good to go. So first thing you're going to do is, like I said, take this little piece off by putting in a little plastic piece or something and taking both of those out of there. Then you want to lift this up, which exposes a nice little Phillips head right there. You take that one out. Then you're going to take this Phillips head out here. Then you're going to pop this up, and there's another Phillips head inside here. And then you'll pop this up right here by putting in a little plastic piece, your tool, removal tool, and popping this up. And then it's just got snaps in here. You take that out, and then you barely have to, here's the other side, you barely have to, see how I took the top off here. All it is just snapped in there. And here's the piece that comes out. That's what it looks like. And so you don't have to, you just take that off, but you don't have to take any of this off or any of that. You just have to, and like I said, there's that piece when you take it off, the screw is going to be right in there. But you just have to barely open it up and pop it off, and what's holding it on is a couple of these little plastic pieces right here that go in there. So you barely have to extend it out a little bit, just enough to be able to see, and you can see that the actual curve goes down here where the hole is, and you'll be able to fish your wire down on the side there. And so like I said, then once you do that, once you get into there, then you can fish the rest of the wire after you splice into there, fish it down and instead of having to take this piece off, you can fish it down all the way down to the bottom here, and then have it run out along here and out. Whoops, my wire's in the way. And have it go all the way down over there to the front. So let me show you how that looks, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the end result, guys, is, like I said, I fished that down through here. There's that. That's going to be wire tied. I'm not doing that just yet because I want to make sure that everything's all good to go. Then I got down to here, and this is where that blue wire splits off. It's red because I had to add a little bit of length of the wire because there was no way that it was going, come on, focus. It wasn't going to be able to go all the way from the back all the way down to here. So I had to split that off, and then this wire goes down along here, and I just fished it through, and it comes out to here, and I'm going to be running that way. And then that red wire goes, there's a little hole that you can see right here coming out to your tail light, and I ran that through and then tapped into the bottom, which is the red. That's the power positive, and that gets tapped into your reverse light, which is the bottom, which is that one. So I just tapped into that, and then I'm not going to clean this up just yet because I want to make sure that it's going to work. So like I said, next is going to be running this cable along here and probably tucked down underneath here, and then just ran up to the front there. Okay guys, wires are ran from the back, like I said, underneath the floorboards here, and then I ran it up underneath. Right now it's just kind of dangling, but it's going to be zip tied to these, and then it's up in the back over here, and then it comes out through here, and this is the wire right here. And if you see that light back right there, that's the floorboard. I put a light underneath there, and that's where it's running from. Now it's time to hook up the supplied power cable or video cable to the actual radio itself. This goes to that camera end, which is we fished out, and that's this guy right here. So these two get hooked in together, and then this jack goes into video in, which is specifically for the backup camera. So that goes in there and gets connected. And then, like I said, the blue and red wires, these two wires, get connected to the wiring harness on the radio, which says back. And those both go together on that one and get soldered in there. And then this guy, the negative, goes somewhere. You can either tap in on your wiring harness itself, or you can tap into a spot here that has some type of ground wire. But this actually, the factory wire that was hanging out, that one is actually a ground wire that you might as well tap into that one. So you just have to get a little flat blade and then put that on your end of your wire and then stick it inside there. So I'll show you that here in just a second, what that looks like. Okay, everything's hooked up now, video to video, and then you've got this guy right here, these two to the backup camera wire, and I soldered them in, but it's just a temporary connection right now because I just want to make sure everything works. And then we've got the camera battery or camera wire to the camera part right there, wire right there. So everything's hooked up, and then you hook up your stereo main wiring harness right there. And then let's see if that works. So we got to go in and turn on the negative battery, put that back on the post, and then you'll see if this sucker works. All right, I just turned on the car, and then let's go ahead and shift her into reverse, if I can do this with one hand. And bingo! We got a reverse camera, and I know it's looking up into the sky or my garage, but it does work. Okay, now that you confirmed it works, go ahead and do the last cleanup job of like putting on all the wire ties and making sure all your wires is tucked up and nice, in good condition, and not being pinched, and they're all nice and tidy, basically. Just making sure everything's buttoned up. And then of course in the back there, I got to make sure that I mount that little cowling thing, and put on the windshield wiper thing, and all the little stuff. But we confirmed the camera works, so it's all good to go. And at this point, yes, you're all good to go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, go ahead and share this, and subscribe to my channel for more of this good stuff and other things. And I guess I will see you on the next one. Peace!